My name is Megan Kinnigs, and I'm a first grade teacher here in Wichita. I'm 26 years old, and I'm a survivor of sudden cardiac arrest. Growing up, I was very involved in sports. I played softball, I played soccer for a season. For 3 summers, I was a camp counselor. So I was very active, very busy, and I did that up until the summer before I had my cardiac arrest. We worked together for 4 years before we started dating. After we met, we dated for 6 years. We were pretty much inseparable. We did everything together. We became engaged after I got out of the hospital. So I got out of the hospital on a Thursday, and we were engaged on Sunday, and we were married 3 months later. The day before I went into cardiac arrest, I had just bought a house. I was moving into my new house. I had my presentation for my master's degree in curriculum and instruction. I don't remember giving my master's presentation. I don't remember moving into the house. I don't remember any of it. And I didn't wake up the next morning. I went to bed, and I didn't wake up.
The next morning I showed up, we were gonna go to church, thank goodness, and I found her and she was not breathing. It sounded like she was gasping for air, and I yelled at her, "Megan, you've got to breathe, Megan, wake up." And she wouldn't wake up. I didn't know what was wrong. I yelled for what felt like forever, but it couldn't have been very long. I called 911. They kind of coached me how to give her CPR, and it felt like forever. I mean, I was just exhausted, giving her chest compressions, and I just willed myself through it. I knew this is the one time I couldn't tire her out and keep her along until paramedics could arrive. We got her into the ambulance and we got her to the hospital. Got her into the ER and gave them all the information we had. They determined that she had been in cardiac arrest, and they didn't know how long, so they wanted to put her through the hypothermia to kind of preserve her brain. And she was in a coma for hypothermia for about 3.5 days. And that was a long few days.
I don't remember the day before my event, and I don't remember the 9 days after it. I had developed a blood clot in my heart because my heart had been down for so long. So it was about a $50 size blood clot, and they can't do surgery if you have a blood clot. And I had also developed an infection, so they wouldn't let me have surgery with an infection either. So we were just waiting around until I could either have surgery or could be released. So being released came first. I was released from the hospital, and they sent me home in a life vest, which is a defibrillator on the outside that you wear like a little backpack. It has a monitor that comes with it. It monitors your heart rate, and if it sees something is going wrong, it's going to shock you. So I was cleared for surgery about 2 weeks after I had gotten out of the hospital. So I had my first surgery on June 11th. They went in and they put an ICD under the skin, which is a defibrillator on the inside, and there's leads that go to my heart, and it will monitor my heart rate. And again, if it sees that I am going into VFib, then it will shock my heart back into rhythm, and then it'll pace it to help it get its normal pace back. There were challenges after I had my first one implanted. I went in for my 2-week checkup expecting to be released, go on my merry way, and they looked at it and had decided that it had become infected. So instead of going home that day, I called Craig, and we were back at the hospital. My mom and dad were there, and so we went back. We went straight to the hospital, and I was to have surgery the next day. And I had the surgery, and they removed it. They sent me back home in a life vest. I was in a life vest for about a month, and then on July 23rd, they said I was clear for surgery. I had no more infection, so they put another ICD in, and thankfully this one has healed great, and it is the one I have today. Long QT is an electrical problem. My heart itself is very healthy. There's nothing wrong with my heart. It's the way my heart beats. So my QT line is longer than my other heartbeats, and my other heartbeats can't catch up to it, so it just all quits. It just stops working. This is the leading cause of sudden cardiac arrest, where the basketball player drops dead on the court or the football player drops dead on the field. I just sit back sometimes and look at him in awe and think how amazing this man saved my life. It's just absolutely incredible.
The experience of having, helped to save her life, I still think to this day that I haven't really quite grasped it. It's hard to wrap your head around. I mean, I know she probably wouldn't be sitting here if I wasn't there, and I understand that, but to imagine that she wasn't here, I would never really think about it that way.
We think it's so important for people to be trained in CPR. 1 in 4 cardiac arrests happen at home, so it could be somebody in your family that you are helping save, just like Craig helped save my life. You never know who's gonna need it. We're supportive of the Go Red for Women initiative because heart disease is the #1 killer of women every year, and it doesn't have to be, it can be somebody who is young, who's athletic, who's not the picture of heart disease. You wouldn't think that I would have something wrong with my heart, and the American Heart Association has been critical in funding technology, research, and CPR training, and all those things that had helped me along the way to become where I am today.
The money you donate today could save someone you love or tons of people. I mean, thousands of people get help all the time from the American Heart Association, and we are so very grateful